Hybrids, also known as HEVs, are getting a second wind in the marketplace. Speaking of second, this brand is number 2 behind Toyota in the number of electrified vehicles offered, as confusing as that description can be. Kia feels shoppers don't know the 5th generation Sportage has always rolled with hybrid powertrains, so it's invited automotive writers to a Louisville, Kentucky event to promote the mid-cycle refresh. And maybe check out this giant baseball bat.
We still have a little bit of an awareness problem that we do make HEVs. I just showed you we have over 10 vehicles that are electrified, and we're still telling that story.
Sportage is Kia's bestseller, and 2026s get new fascias, wheel designs, and interior upgrades. The hybrid powertrain can be had across 5 trim levels. We're driving the most expensive versions because
The SX Prestige happens to be our top-selling trim at over 50% of the mix.
on these events, they always pair us up with another auto writer, and I have the privilege of driving with Jeremy Korzeniewski, and he will keep me honest if I don't get something right, or if he disagrees.
Absolutely.
2 reviews in 1. Sportage is available as a plug-in hybrid with 34 miles of all-electric range. We're focusing on the HEV. Sportage is classified as a compact crossover, meaning it's in the most competitive segment in the automotive industry, going up against other hybrids like Toyota RAV4, Honda CR-V, and Subaru Forester. Let's throw Escape, CX-50, and sister Tucson into the mix too, since all can be had with ICE or hybrid powertrains. For 2026, the improved electric drive motor adds 5 horsepower. So, combined with the turbocharged 1.6-liter 4-cylinder engine, there are 232 horses that will never run the Kentucky Derby and 271 pound-feet of torque. The 1.5 kilowatt-hour lithium-ion pack is under here. Sportage Hybrid changes gears with a 6-speed transmission. Since it's not a continuously variable unit, the dynamic feels like what most would consider normal. Manual shifting is a thing. All-wheel drive gets a center-locking differential. A drive shaft turns the back wheels, not a separate electric motor. Drive modes are easy to get to. This is a great location for the button, and yes, there's loads of switchgear in here. Most Sportages have 8.3 inches of ground clearance, so terrain modes might actually get used. Plus, there's hill descent control. Jeremy and I leave downtown Louisville for some lovely rural roads. By the way, the paint is heritage blue, no extra cost either. Acceleration is solid for this class. I'll estimate 0 to 60 in just over 7 seconds. So passing on this road will not leave your knuckles white. You've already driven this. Ride quality, for starters, this is on the quiet side. And I would say more towards comfort. It's not sloppy in any way, shape, or form.
No, it's really not. I think it's the right compromise. It's what most consumers who are going to be buying this product, they're going to prefer a more comfortable ride. As enthusiasts, we may, like something that handles really, really well in the corners.
Right.
This isn't really marketed towards that, despite being called a Sportage. It's not sporty, it's much more comfortable.
Yeah, if you push this really hard into a turn, there's going to be a certain amount of understeer, but that's the way most drivers should have suspension dialed in.
Yeah, it's firm enough to be fun in the corners, but generally, I would say the Kia engineers erred on the side of comfort.
Engage lane keep assist, and it does get bossy occasionally, but it can be turned off. Transmission, it's pretty smooth. Downshifts
13 miles.
are fine. You think they're maybe a little lazy?
Yeah, I think if I did have a complaint about the drivetrain in general, it's that the transmission's a little bit slow to respond. These days we've gotten so used to dual clutch transmissions that fire off such quick shifts. This one feels a little bit lazy, especially on upshifts when you're accelerating.
Yeah, although some people do complain about how abrupt dual clutch transmissions are. I like the crisp feeling, but average drivers go, it's rough.
Yeah, yeah.
What are you going to do?
Yeah, you can't please everybody. I would say,
No.
again, this car errs on the side of comfort over sportiness.
The clear 10-inch head-up display, that's hard to shoot, is near luxury and offers turn-by-turn CarPlay graphics. We're driving the all-wheel drive version, and the EPA-rated average fuel economy is 35
combined.
mpg.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, a little low, actually.
That is a little bit low. I think competitors like the RAV4 and CR-V are a little bit better than that. I would expect it to be closer to 40.
Yeah. Front-wheel drive is much higher, though. I think it's like 42.
That is what they said, which is it's surprising that there's that big of a difference. Of course, in the real world, when you're counting the number of gallons that you're putting in the tank, it's not going to be that big of a difference once you get into those 30 range. Like the dollar amount's not that big of a difference. But yeah, I'm a little surprised. 35 to 42.
The as-tested price is $42,135, including destination and optional floor mats and cargo cover, so there's value here. It is interesting how during the presentation they were talking about nobody knows this as a hybrid. Everybody knows RAV4 is a hybrid, and I think most people know that CR-V is a hybrid, but Sportage not so much.
Yeah, they're trying to increase awareness that Kia offers a range of hybrid vehicles, not just hybrids, plug-in hybrids too. I do think fewer people think of Kia as a brand that makes hybrids, whereas Toyota and Honda are well known for that.
Yeah. The SX Prestige cabin is a nice place to spend time. The new dual 12.3-inch display is easy to read. Door releases feel terrific. Seats with hides from synthetic cattle are heated and vented. This little tab helps when closing the door. Even hard plastics have a quality look. Surfaces get interesting patterns and no hint of piano black. I'm a big fan of this blind spot camera setup. My biggest gripe is this switchable panel. Seems it's always on the interface setting when I want HVAC controls and vice versa. There's no shortage of cameras. Scuff this Kia up and that's on you. No lack of places to tuck things away either. Sportage has stowage. Don't use cup holders? Well, there's extra flexibility if you need more places to stash things. I didn't get to spend loads of time with the user interface, but it seems easy enough to use with good screen response. 5 years of full connectivity are included. And hey, you could watch this video. While parked, of course. There's phone as key tech too. Android Auto and Apple CarPlay are wireless. Jeremy and I got to talking, so judging the Harman Kardon sound will be up to you. Space is not a problem when it comes to the back seat. I'm 5'9". Headroom, very good. Same with knee, leg, and foot room, quite generous. The cushion does not slide fore and aft to max out leg or cargo room, but it's high and long enough for excellent thigh support. Plus, the doors are big enough to get car seats in and out, no sweat. Door pockets are a little bit on the small side. Love to see storage on both seat backs. Plus, bag hooks, nice. No separate climate zone back here, but adjustable vents and this little cubby. This being the top trim, heated seats back here. I like this position for the USB ports. It's really convenient. If there's no one back here, I would guess this is a good place to hang a jacket. Yeah, there's a little bit of a spine. It's not too bad. Drinks don't really go in the door pockets unless they're sealed water bottles, but, there's this. Sportage is wide enough, so you could get 3 average-sized adults back here for shorter trips across town. But for long excursions, I would stop at 2. Those full-sized adults will be pretty darn comfortable, actually. As for design, the profile doesn't really change. Maybe part of Kia's hybrid identity problem is this is the only signal this is one. The nose is extensively reworked with star map DRLs that are also found on EV6 and EV9. It's a little bit more rugged looking than the outgoing face. Square fog lamps too. The back tail lamps are changed up and there's a different lower fascia. This is freshened. It's not a wholesale change. Since I'm at an event, there will be no TP trunk test, but I could use cases of bourbon since that is the Jim Beam Distillery over there. My camera bag is a bit smaller than a carry-on suitcase. The backpack is normal sized. And the security cover can be stashed under the floor, so it doesn't have to be left behind. I just didn't have time to fuss with it. And look, a spare tire. That's a rarity these days. There's power, but no molded-in bag hooks that are helpful. Remote releases are unusual in this class, though. That expands the 34.5 cubic foot cargo hold that probably scores an 8 in the TP trunk test to over 65 cubes. So Sportage is very useful. Pricing? Sportage Hybrid is a good value.
So the LX trim at $30,290 happens to be the lowest priced compact SUV hybrid in the segment, with the best-in-class fuel economy. And then the SX Prestige, just $10,000 more, offers a great value and class-up technology.
All right, let's wrap this up. Pluses and minuses. Pluses?
I think it's comfortable. It is sizable for its class, and I would say that it looks really nice.
Yeah, and for the price, it's a really good value. Minuses?
Again, if you're looking for something sporty, this is not what you're looking for. This is a nice, comfortable car. I think it's appropriate for the segment, but it's definitely not what I would call a sporty car.
Yeah, maybe go with CX-50 hybrid for that.
Exactly.
I'll also add the unusual switchable interface panel, and the all-wheel drive fuel economy average isn't as lofty as RAV4 and CR-V, but the total package, it's extremely competitive, and a hybrid that should be better known. Sportage would be very easy to live with and well worth a test drive. Special thanks to Jeremy Korzeniewski. He's kind of legend in the automotive world, one of the very first employees of Autoblock, you know, when it wasn't full of AI-generated filler. This bite was too good to not share. Last night I had a friend. He's looking for advice for a new vehicle, and he's thinking about buying a higher-end vehicle like a Volvo or an Audi. And you know, something like this is starting to bump up against those brands. Do you agree?
I mean, I do agree. I think as time goes on, what the premium brands offer that the competitors like Kia, you know, mainstream brands don't offer, it's really only in the badge. There's maybe a little bit more sound deadening, you know, additional technology and whatnot, but this car feels like what a luxury or a premium brand would have been 10 years ago.
Before I go, it's important for me to let you know that Kia brought me to Kentucky, put me up and fed me, but I'm here to give you good information, not to get a free lunch, okay? All right. Thanks for watching. Subscribe to the channel, okay? Follow me on social media. I'm on all the major platforms. And if you have a question, leave it in the comments. Either I will get back to you or one of my followers will. This is a great community. That's Driven. I'm Tom Volk.